This is KT from IShine Car Wash in the Woodlands. What we're doing right now is replacing the bearings on the shaft of the top brush. So as you can see right now, I already replaced the bearings. I took the old one off and then put the new one on. And then now we're gonna come to putting the top brush back together.
All right. Could you show us real quick how we secured this brush down so that no one gets hurt?
How we secure the brush down, no one gets hurt. Safety caution. We put a yellow strap onto the top brush arm, and then we put it down right here next to the track.
Okay. Can you explain to the viewers the reason why we secure this arm down?
The reason why we secure the arm down is because as we're taking off the brush from the arm, once we take off the brush from the arms goes up.
Okay.
Automatically.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we use a strap for safety precautions, so the arm doesn't go up.
Okay.
As we're doing maintenance on it.
Awesome. So what's the next step on getting this piece of equipment back together?
The next step is to put in. Okay, so we already put the bearings on.
All right.
Now we're going to go ahead and move to the next step by putting it back on the arm.
Okay. Could you explain just real quick how you put the brush back together here?
How we put the brush back together? Okay, first step is you always want to put the shaft back on the brush
First.
so
Okay.
it won't be complicated as when you put the brush back on the arm.
All right. So you did what? Those 4 screws there?
I put these 4 screws in, line them all up, don't tighten them all down, even them all the way around, and then tighten them up.
Okay. And then what do you do with the bearing?
And then with the bearing, you have to line up the bearing, and then once you know that the bearing is lined up, then you have these 2 screws right here,
The little set screws?
the little set screws, so you can lock it in place so it won't move.
Awesome. All right, well, let's go on to the next step.
Okay, now what we're gonna do in this clip right now, we're gonna put the brush back onto the arm. So we're gonna have one person on that side to hold that in, and then we're gonna have another person on this side to hold it in. And I'm gonna be the one coordinating in and putting it back inside of the motor, where the motor is at.
Okay. What bolts go there, just so they can see?
Bolts go there. The 19-inch bolts. These are bolts that we're gonna put in here, and all we have to do is to get one bolt in, and then we'll be able to do the other side the same way.
And then you can come back and do the rest.
And then come back and then put in the rest of the bolts and then tighten them all up and make sure that it's secure.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. KT, watch out for that grease fitting. Where's the grease fitting
Right
at?
here. I have put that. I'll make sure I put it at the bottom.
Pointing down? All right.
Yeah. It's very important to have the grease fitting at the bottom because you don't want it inward nor inward and inside of the arm. You always want to have it at the bottom
Because then you can't reach it.
so you know that it's there when it's time for greasing. You can go ahead and tighten that one up. Jonathan, push the brush this way a little bit, not too much. Right there. Alright, now we secure both sides. One screw on each end. Now we have the brush back on the top brush arm, and then next is going to be the motor. So we're going to put the motor in so it can align with the brush. So, and then after that, we're going to tighten up all the bolts.
Okay, so yeah, so just leave everything hand tight for right now. Line up the motor. Once everything lines up, then you can go back and tighten all your hardware. So we'll be back in a couple seconds.
So the next thing is we have the motor back in, everything is aligned. So now we're gonna put the bolts back inside of the motor joint.
And then that joint right there, that's what makes the brush actually turn.
Yes.
Start.
Final recap, everything is put back together. So as you can see, we have our the shaft greased up as long with the bearing. We have the nipple sticking out to make sure that it is ready for maintenance. All the bolts are tightened up. Everything tightened up. The joint is tightened up. That's an important piece as well. And you can see on the other side as well, the same thing. The shaft is greased as long as the bearing. Everything's measured up. The bolts are tight. Now it's ready for testing. This is Coleman Hanna
Equipment.
It's very easy to work on. I haven't had any major breakdowns besides wear and tear items like this as a bearing. Please subscribe to our channel. We'll see you guys in the next video.